You checked your watch today. You scheduled meetings. You worried about running out of it. But what if I told you that the thing you're so desperately trying to save doesn't actually exist? Time might be the greatest illusion ever created by the human mind. This isn't philosophy. This isn't speculation. Some of the most brilliant physicists in history, from Einstein to modern quantum theorists, have discovered something deeply unsettling. The clock on your wall, the calendar on your phone, the aging you see in the mirror. All of it might be a trick your brain plays on you to make sense of a universe that operates on entirely different principles. Time is an illusion, and once you understand why, you'll never look at a sunset the same way again. Today, we're going to explore what physicists have actually discovered about the nature of time, and why their findings should make you question everything you thought you knew about reality itself. Einstein's bombshell. In 1905, a patent clerk in Switzerland dropped a bomb on human understanding. Albert Einstein, working alone in his spare time, published a paper that would shatter our most basic assumption about reality. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Think about that for a moment. The man who gave us E=mc², who revolutionized physics, who saw deeper into the universe than perhaps anyone before him, called time an illusion. What did he discover? Einstein proved that time doesn't flow at the same rate for everyone. If you're moving fast, time slows down for you. If you're near a massive object, time crawls. Two twins can age at completely different rates depending on their journeys through space. This wasn't philosophy. This was measurable, testable physics. GPS satellites have to account for time dilation every single day, or your phone's navigation would be off by miles. Your past and someone else's future could be happening simultaneously. The present moment you think you're experiencing right now. Someone traveling at a different speed would disagree about when now actually is. But Einstein was just the beginning of our time troubles. The block universe. Here's where things get truly strange. According to Einstein's equations, the universe doesn't exist moment by moment. Instead, it exists all at once, like a giant four-dimensional block. Past, present, and future. Physicists call this the block universe theory. Imagine a loaf of bread. You can slice it anywhere you want. Each slice is a moment in time, but the entire loaf already exists. The bread doesn't create itself slice by slice as you cut it. According to this model, the dinosaurs are still roaring somewhere in the block. World War II is still happening. Your great-grandchildren are already living their lives. You just can't perceive it because your consciousness is like a spotlight, illuminating one slice at a time. Eternal. This means that in some very real sense you never actually die. The moments of your life exist forever, frozen in the fabric of space-time like insects in amber. Your 5th birthday party, your first kiss, your final breath. All equally real, all existing right now in the block universe. Comforting, terrifying, perhaps both. But what creates our experience of time flowing if everything already exists? Quantum mystery. If Einstein destabilized time, quantum mechanics buried it entirely. When physicists zoom into the smallest scales of reality, something remarkable happens. Time loses all meaning. The equations that govern particles don't care which direction time flows. Play a video of two particles colliding. Now play it backwards. The physics works perfectly either way. There's nothing in the fundamental laws that says time must move forward. So why does it? Why can you remember yesterday but not tomorrow? Why does your coffee cool down but never spontaneously heat up? Time is what prevents everything from happening at once. But at the quantum level, things do seem to happen all at once. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously. Effects can precede causes. Entangled particles communicate instantaneously across any distance, as if space and time simply don't apply to them. The deepest layer of reality appears to be timeless. Some physicists believe that what we experience as the flow of time is an emergent phenomenon, like wetness emerging from water molecules. The molecules themselves aren't wet, and perhaps reality itself isn't temporal. But if time doesn't exist at the fundamental level, What does that say about our entire experience of life? The arrow problem. Here's a puzzle that has haunted physicists for over a century. If the laws of physics work the same forwards and backwards in time, why does time seem to have a direction? We call this the arrow of time problem. Broken eggs never unbreak. Drop a glass. It shatters. You never see shattered glass spontaneously reassemble into a perfect glass and leap back onto the table. But nothing in the fundamental laws of physics forbids this. Every particle could theoretically reverse its trajectory. The answer most physicists give involves entropy, the measure of disorder in a system. The universe started in an incredibly ordered state at the Big Bang, and it's been getting messier ever since. Time's arrow points in the direction of increasing entropy. But this just pushes the mystery back a step. Why did the universe start in such an ordered state to begin with? Some physicists speculate that before the Big Bang, there was no time at all. That time itself emerged from the initial conditions of our cosmos. The Big Bang didn't just create space and matter, it created time itself. And that leads us to an even stranger possibility. Loop quantum gravity. Some of the most cutting-edge theories in physics suggest something radical. Time isn't just an illusion. It's literally not part of the fundamental structure of reality. Loop quantum gravity, one of the leading candidates for a theory of everything, describes the universe without any reference to time at all. Time is simply the measure of change. No change, no time. Physicist Carlo Rovelli, one of the founders of this theory, argues that what we call time is actually just the way we describe relationships between things. The position of the sun in the sky, the number of heartbeats since you woke up, the decay of atoms. We compare these changes to each other and call one of them time. But there's no master clock ticking away somewhere in the universe. Timeless. In the equations of loop quantum gravity, the variable t for time simply disappears. The theory works without it. Reality at the most fundamental level is a network of relationships, constantly changing, but not changing in time. Time is a human construct we project onto a timeless universe. Change without time. But if that's true, what does it mean for our everyday experience? What does it mean for the life you're living right now? Your brain's trick. Maybe the answer to why time feels so real lies not in physics, but in neuroscience. Your brain is a prediction machine. It doesn't show you reality as it is. It shows you a useful model of reality, constructed from sensory data that's already hundreds of milliseconds old by the time you perceive it. The present moment you experience is actually the past. Your brain stitches together fragmented sensory information and creates the smooth, continuous experience of now. But now is a construction, an interpretation, a story your neurons tell each other. Consciousness creates the experience of time flowing forward. Studies have shown that your brain can reorder events, creating false memories of sequence. Under certain conditions, people perceive effects before causes. The flow of time, the sense that moments pass and never return, might be entirely a product of how consciousness processes information. Your mind creates the theater of time, complete with past, present, and future. But the show might be entirely internal. The universe outside your skull may operate on completely different principles, which raises a profound question about the nature of human experience. Thermal time. There's another theory that might explain where our sense of time comes from. It's called the thermal time hypothesis, and it suggests that time is fundamentally connected to heat and information. When you don't know everything about a system, when there's uncertainty and hidden information, time appears. Time is ignorance. It emerges from what we cannot know. Think about it this way. If you knew the exact position and velocity of every particle in the universe, you wouldn't need time. You could calculate any moment from any other moment. Past and future would be equally accessible, but we're limited beings. We can only see part of the picture. Ignorance creates time. Time flows because information flows. Because we're constantly receiving new data about the universe. Because there's always something we don't know yet. Our limited perspective creates the river of time we seem to float upon. This might sound like philosophy, but the math works. The thermal time hypothesis produces equations that match observed reality. Time isn't a fundamental feature of the cosmos. It's a consequence of thermodynamics and our limited access to information. But what does this mean for some of our deepest beliefs? Free will crisis. If time is an illusion, if the block universe is real, what happens to free will? If your future already exists, frozen in spacetime like your past, can you really choose anything? Predetermined. This question has tormented philosophers and physicists alike. In a block universe, the you reading this sentence was always going to read it. The decision you'll make tomorrow is already made, existing in a future slice of the block. Choice might be the grandest illusion of all, but some physicists push back on this interpretation. They argue that the block universe shows us that every moment is equally real, not that every moment is predetermined. The experience of choosing, of deliberating, of deciding, that's real too. It exists in the block. Just because the future exists doesn't mean you didn't create it. Your choices might be the very process by which the block takes its shape, not predetermined from outside, but self-determined from within. The debate rages on, but perhaps the more important question isn't whether free will exists. It's whether the question itself makes sense in a universe where time might not exist at all. And this brings us to one of the strangest discoveries of all, quantum retrocausality. What if the future can influence the past? It sounds like science fiction, but some physicists are seriously proposing exactly this. Retrocausality, the idea that effects can precede causes, might be necessary to explain the strangest experiments in quantum mechanics. Future affects past. In certain quantum experiments, the choice a scientist makes seems to retroactively determine what happened before the choice was made. Not in a way that creates paradoxes, but in subtle, statistical ways that suggest the arrow of causation might not always point in the direction we assume. The future might reach back and shape the conditions of the present. If this is true, our entire concept of time, causality, and the nature of reality needs revision. We think of time as a river carrying us from cause to effect, but reality might be more like a tapestry, with threads running in every direction, each moment influencing and being influenced by every other. Past and future, woven together in a pattern that transcends our simple linear understanding. The implications for free will, prediction, and the nature of existence are staggering. But what does all of this mean for how we should actually live? Living timelessly. So where does this leave us? If time is an illusion, if the past and future are as real as the present, if our experience of flowing moments is a construction of consciousness, how should we live? Perhaps this knowledge is the ultimate liberation. Eternity is not the infinite extension of time. It is the absence of time. Every moment you've ever lived still exists. Every joy, every love, every triumph is eternally present in the block universe. Nothing is ever truly lost. Death itself might be less of an ending and more of a boundary. You simply can't see past from your current position in the block. The present moment is not a fleeting instant, but an eternal reality. Maybe the ancient mystics were onto something when they said that enlightenment means stepping outside of time. That awakening means recognizing the eternal present that underlies the illusion of past and future. This moment is forever. The physicists, with their equations and experiments, have arrived at a truth the contemplatives knew all along. We are not passengers on the river of time. We are the water itself, flowing and still, changing and eternal, experiencing our own infinite nature one precious moment at a time. We started by questioning whether time exists. We've journeyed through Einstein's relativity, quantum mechanics, loop quantum gravity, and the very nature of consciousness itself. And what have we found? Perhaps time is the most beautiful and terrible gift the universe gave to conscious beings. Time might be an illusion, yes, but it's an illusion that makes love possible, that makes growth meaningful, that makes the experience of being alive so achingly precious. The physicists tell us that every moment is eternal. The mystics tell us the same. Whether time exists or not, this moment right now is real. You are here, reading these words, existing in a universe vast and mysterious beyond comprehension. Embrace the eternal now. Perhaps the question isn't whether time exists. Perhaps the question is whether you're truly present for the moments you're given. The truth is never comfortable, but it's always worth knowing. If this made you question reality, hit that like button and subscribe. History and science have more secrets to reveal.